Hello everyone, myself Dr. Manoj Kumar, working as an assistant professor in Department of EC at MLR Institute of Technology, Hyderabad. Today I am here to deliver a lecture talk on strain gauge. This is overview of my presentation. First of all, I would like to discuss basic of strain gauge. After that, I will be taking the classification, thereafter construction, working principle, and finally some of application of strain gauge. So first of all, we'd like to know what is strain gauge. Strain gauge is nothing but it is a type of transducer which measures the strain. Strain here means a deformation which is caused by some external forces. So strain gauge is nothing but a transducer which converts the strain or deformation experienced by an external force into change in resistance, and corresponding this change in resistance is calibrated in terms of voltage. So directly the strain gauge converts the strain of the external force into the change in resistance. So this is the commercial picture of a strain gauge. We can see that some wiring arrangement is there. Okay, it is usually made up of highly elastic wires and it has got two terminals. Wherever some force or strain is there, there is change in resistance. So here the strain proportionally converted to change in resistance. So we will take the different types of strain gauge. We have foil strain gauge, wire type of strain gauge, semiconductor strain gauge, and piezoelectric strain gauge. So in foil type of strain gauge, there is nothing but a thin metal sheet. In wire strain gauge, we have some wiring arrangement as we already seen in our previous slides. Semiconductor strain gauge. In semiconductor strain gauge, we use some semiconductor material to sense the strain of an object. Piezoelectric strain gauge. In piezoelectric strain gauge, some force or strain is directly converted into voltage. So we will see the construction. In construction, a strain gauge consists of wiring arrangement. We can see here. Okay. So a sensing element is there which is made up of a thin wire. Whenever the force is applied on a thin wire, there is deformation of the wire, due to which there is change in the resistance. Other is that backing material. This is the yellow color is a backing material on which the strain gauge wire is placed or fixed. Adhesive is used to fix the strain gauge wire on the backing plate, and lead wires across which we will take the change in resistance value of a strain gauge wire. So whenever the strain is applied or strain is experienced, we will have the change in resistance. Okay, so strain gauge directly converts the strain or deformation of an object into the change in resistance. So this is the basic construction of a strain gauge: a sensing element, a backing material, adhesive, and lead wires. Working principle. So we'll try to understand the working of a strain gauge. Whenever the force is applied to a material, it causes a deformation, which is nothing but the strain. So here strain is nothing but the deformation of an object caused by the force. So whenever you apply some force on the strain gauge, the wire of the strain gauge is getting deformed, due to which there is change in the resistance. As we know that R equal to rho L by A. So resistance of a wire is given by rho L by A. So whenever you are applying some strain or force, the length of wire changes and area of cross-sectional area of wire changes, due to which there is change in resistance. So in this way, the strain gauge works. So step by step process is that first strain is experienced by the object, then strain is transferred to the gauge, then there is change in the electrical resistance, and this change in the electrical resistance is measured by the Wheatstone bridge circuit. So this is the step by step process how the strain gauge is working. So for strain gauge, first you apply a force on the strain gauge. Whenever the force is applied, the wire of strain gauge is deformed, and due to which we experience the change in resistance. So force here directly converted into change in resistance. The work of strain gauge is that it will convert the strain or the force into change in resistance. So some of the advantage of strain gauge is that it is very highly sensitive. It is compact and lightweight. It has high accuracy and it is very reliable. And limitation is that it is very sensitive to the temperature variation and it requires a precise installation. If you don't do precise installation, it may cause some errors. So these are some of the application. It is also used in the aerospace, automotive industries. Industrial, it is used as industrial sensors to measure the force, pressure and torque. So strain gauge, here we have seen that it is a very excellent transducer which will convert your force applied or strain experience into a change in resistance. So it is very highly accurate transducer. Thank you.